Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to an episode of Change Starts With Us, Ohio. Today we have our guest. What's your name, Mr. Nettles? Your first name, Nettles?
Keith Nettles.
Keith Nettles. And I'm looking right at it, but I just wasn't paying attention, I guess. I would like you to share a little bit about your situation on what is going on with you and your incarceration.
Oh, well, they got me here for talking about a drug kingpin, and I ain't got no drugs in my case, and I got 34 years for selling some drugs that they don't have. Nobody should say I sold them drugs, no money, no nothing. But they use, like the newspapers, they talking about this the second biggest bust, but what they ain't telling nobody is there ain't no drugs in my case, period. So when I was going to trial, I had a judge named Judge Hart.
Right.
So they charged me with all these charges, like 36 charges, talking about trafficking drugs and drug possession and all this type of stuff. And when it was time to have my evidentiary hearing on my motion to suppress the hearing, Judge Hart turned me down for everything. So, I was speaking out like, you can't get a fair trial in Sandusky County. It's like the justice system, they all working hand in hand together with the corrupt stuff. I mean, like from the chief of police, Dean Blitz, to John Dewey, he the one who signed the warrant.
Right.
To other law enforcement that's in Sandusky County police. You just can't get a fair trial. And in the Sandusky County courtroom, you just can't get a fair trial. And my life just ain't been the same. They were talking about I'm ahead of a drug crew and this and that. So I'm telling them, like, these people, Leah Harper, Larry Liggins, Travis Tucker, Travis Bolger, these people ain't got nothing to do with me. Hayward Jones, these people ain't got nothing to do with me. I know these people, but we don't hang out, none of this and that. And they still want to convict these people. So when I started doing my research on my case and stuff, because I was over there in federal prison as well for the same case. So when I started doing my research for the case, and we going back and forth to trial for this case, and they bringing up pictures. They got my name on these papers. Said I did this on the affidavit and this and that. So when they bring up the pictures, it's not even me in the pictures. So I still got convicted about it. When they had people that they said that was on the case, now they was telling on the case, like when you get bond, if you get bond, you don't supposed to have no run-in with the police. But they witnesses caught all type of charges while they was out on bond, and I feel that's why they testified against me, because they had nothing against me. So they were saying that the prosecutor and Dean Blitz was calling their phones and telling them if they testify against me, their charges would be dropped.
Right.
Well as Bob Hart, the judge, knew all of this, and I brought this all up in court because I tried to fire my lawyer, because I'm asking my lawyer to file some motions for me. So my lawyer was taking his time and filing the motions, so I went pro se and started filing motions myself as well, and you just can't get no fair trial.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
So on the affidavit, they got me saying that I'm meeting up with the guy at the gas station. He handed me a brown bag with drugs in it, and they've been following me, and me and the guy been meeting up here. They've been following us and this and that. So when they show the pictures in court, it's not even me, the guy that's in the pictures. I still got charged for it. It didn't matter. They should have said I was at certain dates. That stuff went on with Larry Liggins, Leah Harper, this and that. I proved that they lied. I put in the notice of whereabouts that they lied about the dates. They dropped them charges with me, Leah Harper, Hayward Jones. They dropped them charges and Larry Liggins when I went to court. But you knew y'all was wrong and y'all convicted these people. Why would you continue to keep having them to go to court when you know already that y'all wrong, that y'all lied, and y'all manufactured these dates? It was just ruining people's lives, trying to make it like it's a big old drug ring and all these drugs was going on. So when the man got up there, Jomo Brown from Detroit, said I did do something, I got convicted of the charges. When he said I did do something, I got convicted of the charges. And I was just wanting people to know what they were saying that it ain't no drugs in my case. It ain't no money in my case.
Right.
There's not nothing in my case. It's just some dirty police officers, some dirty government officials, all got together, and I didn't tell them what they wanted to know. So then they started saying, well, if you say he did it, then you'll get out of jail car free.
Right.
That's what's going on with my case.
Right. Well, what county was this again?
Fremont, Ohio, Sandusky County.
Okay. So there were you had nothing to do with this case, correct?
Yeah, the people that they put on this case didn't have nothing to do with this case. You know, and if they would have let me have an evidential hearing or motion to suppress hearing, then you would have said see, and we would have found out the truth. But Judge Hart turned it down. But I was trying to figure out, like, how he gonna be my judge? He got an ankle monitor on his leg. He just
Right.
been busted for he just been busted for DUIs.
Right.
He can't be over anybody's case. Matter of fact, Judge Dewey was under investigation. How could he be under anybody's case? You know, they was going through stuff up in the courtroom. You know, they blamed the murder on some people. It was on Dateline. You know, he the one who signed all the warrants. But you know, they got signed on counter. He went to prison for it. But Judge Dewey is the one who signed everybody's warrants for everything.
Right.
So why he ain't never been held accountable for anything?
I see what you're saying. So what do you have going on now to fight for your innocence?
I have a lawyer, and he's found. Well, I had some lawyers out of Cleveland,
Right.
James Colbert and Patrick Milligan. And when my family met up with them, you know, we asked them to put this stuff in my direct appeal. So, you know, they took it upon themselves to put in my direct appeal what they wanted to put in, not the issues that I asked them to put in my direct appeal, but they put some of the issues. So they telling my mom and my girlfriend, well, we came up with this, and we feel like if we had to put this in there, this and that. So I got turned down by the 6th District, which I knew I was going to get turned down. Anyway.
Right.
And then it went to the Supreme Court. But the Supreme Court has since said there was other issues that they could have raised. And so, you know, I got some papers that I had been sent to them and asked them, these are issues I'd like you to put in my direct appeal. Because, you know, for one thing, you get an all-white jury. You ain't never going to get a jury of your peers. That's first things first.
Yeah, and I did hear that. What you just said is what I've heard.
From an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
With what
Your
you, what you just said, I've heard from so many people.
Yeah, your jury is never going to be a court of your peers. So you can forget that. It's going to be people that's kin to the police officers, people that's kin to people that work at the state, all retired police officers, the judge, next door neighbors. No, you ain't never gonna get a jury of your peers. So
no,
you can forget that.
Right.
But yeah, it's always gonna be like that.
So what do you need help with exactly?
Only thing I want is a fair trial.
Right.
Only thing I ask for is like I'm just telling you today, these people ain't had nothing to do with me, and I ain't had nothing to do with them.
Right.
You know, it's all a lie. It's a big old conspiracy to make it seem like this and that was going on when nothing was going on. You said all these drugs is coming over here from Detroit, and then you say the guy that's on my case, Josh Cherry, y'all said that he was selling me drugs. If he's selling me drugs, he got 2 years, and I got 34 years.
Huh.
So how could he be selling me drugs if he got 2 years and I got 34 years? Y'all saying I'm the head of a drug empire.
Right. Right. So they're making you like you were the boss of the whole thing.
Right. Which I didn't hang. They got pictures of people. They didn't have no pictures of me hanging with nobody. They had a picture of me walking down the street to a restaurant.
Right.
So they said, he wouldn't make a drug deal, this and that. So they witnessed, they informed me woman gets on the witness stand and say that never happened, I still got convicted for that. Everything he said that didn't happen, I still got convicted for it. So everything he said that did happen, I still got convicted for that. And that's all I want people to look. I'm not the only person that's been affected by Judge Dewey as well. I mean, that's why the prison is overpopulated now, because they give people bogus cases, bogus stuff. You know, like, you have nobody. If you said I shot somebody, and for instance, I'm telling my lawyer, okay, they said that's the gun, let's run ballistic test and see if that's the gun. And then they telling you, no, I can't run ballistic test on the gun. Well, how's I'm gonna fight my case?
Right.
How's I'm gonna fight for my innocence? And that's just how I feel that Judge Hurt wouldn't let me have an evidentiary hearing or a motion to suppress, because there ain't no drugs to suppress. So, you know, they can get on the news, or they can get in the newspaper, or they can even go on the computer and act like, oh yeah, there's a big drug deal that's going on, this and that. I have nobody that I can call and say that didn't happen. And these people in this case don't have nothing to do with me, and I don't have nothing to do with them. I had my job for 14 years straight at Woodbridge. I was proving the dates that they had on an indictment. I was proving that they was lying.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I wanna do also a Facebook Live with you sometime, so we could get some input from some of the folks that you know, so that we could get more input.
Yeah, I mean, like, if y'all go to the Sandusky Register and push these people's names, you'll see they had all different type of cases going on, disrespecting women in their job force, sexual harassment charges, wrongful imprisonment charges. I mean, you name it, they had tons of charges. But you trying to figure out, like, how they still up over people's cases when they got all these charges themselves. But they still let them be up over people's cases, sending people to prison, and they're in trouble themselves. They're on the investigation themselves. I mean, since 2012, people was going to them, asking Mike DeWine to investigate. People was getting killed in the county jail, all type of stuff. People was going to them, asking them to investigate them since 2012, and nobody investigated them. I mean, when the Heather Bover murder came up, and they family even told them, like, these people ain't do this. Check these people. They didn't do it. They just wanted to blame it on some black people. You know, they turned in their sheets for a badge, and
right.
That's what goes on.
Right, and that is what's happening, though. You know, it's
I'm a man.
Right.
My name is Keith. I don't mind being in trouble for what I do, but these people that Larry Leggins, Leah Harper, them, and the rest of these people don't have nothing to do with what I do, and I don't have nothing to do with what they do. And
right.
If you got people selling drugs, so you get money from them. Ain't nobody gave you no money.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
So when people was telling them, they didn't want to hear that. They didn't want to hear the truth. So they're going to force their hand. You either going to go to jail or you going to get the witness.
Right.
But that's not the truth. And I've been proving that from day one. It's not the truth.
Right.
Judge Hart would have let me prove my case the way I wanted to, because my lawyer, David Kruger's my lawyer at Toledo. I'm asking him to file a motion. He's telling me, you know, I got everything I tell you. I got paperwork to it. So if anybody down lying,
right,
I can prove the paperwork. He's telling me that he's not my butler. I must got him confused with my butler. No, you my lawyer. You fighting for my freedom. I'm asking you to file this motion. This is a motion that I think that can help free me. I'm asking you to file this. So when I try to fire him, Judge Hart wants to say, well, I think he's doing a great job. How do you know what job he's doing? You're supposed to be the referee. You're supposed to help me or make sure I get a fair trial. You're not even making sure I get a fair trial because you're so caught up in the hype that you want to convict me. You want to convict me from the get-go.
Right.
Judge Hart has said some stuff from at the end of my sentence. I know you a long time, and I know you to sell drugs. You ain't never known me to sell drugs. You can look at my record. I ain't never been in trouble for no drugs until they had this case for me in 2014. And then a dirty cop named Overline started harassing me. They followed me around. I never knew I had this case. So they followed me around, and every car I'm in, they stop in the car and they tell only had problems with Overland. I never had no problems with no other police officer in Fremont till this case came up in Overland. If you sit and check both of the records, if you listen to the police CBs and this and that, he telling people, you shouldn't hang around these people. You shouldn't do this. You don't even know me. This is the first time me and you ever met each other. He stopped a guy for a traffic stop. His name was Joe Rory. He got me out there standing Kingsborough come and back him up. Me and Kingsborough said, Nettles, you got anything on you? I said, no. He said, right. Can I pat you down? Yeah. I said, I had just hit the lottery when I come from the gambling spot. All this stuff I'm telling Kingsborough. Kingsborough, search where I'm sitting at, search me and this and that. Overlani is searching Georgia Robert. He telling Georgia Robert he wouldn't get treated like that if he wouldn't hang around those type of people. Me and Kingsborough hear him saying this. But at this point in time, he wanted to say he didn't say it. So Georgia Robert come back and say, you did say it. So me and him arguing back and forth and this and that. So they search the car. They call for a dog. Him and Georgia.
You have 1 minute remaining.
He been searching Georgia Robert's car for his truck for weeks now. And know the man got driver license. Know the man got insurance. But since they really looking for me, in order to he want to hold the man up. They call and get the dog. The dog walk around the car. Don't find him nothing. Overlani lifts up Georgia Roberts' hood of his truck. He builds down, and then he comes around and goes in the passenger seat and say he found a crumb of dope.
Right.
But you found a crumb of dope, and the dog didn't slip a crumb of dope out. Kingsborough didn't find the crumb of dope, but all of a sudden you come up with a crumb of dope and you say it's mine. So Georgia Robert tell him, well, it's his truck, it's his. Overlani goes and say, no, it's his. So they takes me to jail. But on the police report, it said the dog hit on the driver's side door. Well, how could the passenger go to jail? So this is my first run-in.
Thank you for using GTL.
Okay, folks, I'm not sure if he's going to call back or not, but you could hear that he has a story to tell, just like so many other people do. And it's really sad that our judicial system will let people down like this and, allow the wrong stuff come back. It's just pathetic. Please check out our website at www.changestartswithusohio.org. Again, that is www.changestartswithusohio.org. And get involved. If you'd like to make a donation, you could do it through our website. And he's back on again.
Hello. This call is from a corrections facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using GTL.
Okay, you're back.
Yeah.
So, what else would you like to say?
Oh, so how could the passenger go to jail if the dog hit on the driver's side door? When is the passenger going to jail? But he got me standing. He want to strip search me now. Before all of this happened, he wants to strip search me. So now he got me pulling off my socks and shoes.
Right.
He got me pulling down my pants. We standing on. I can't think of the street right now. What street thinking the state on? He claimed he was making a traffic stop. I can't think of the street right now. It goes up the hill, that Main Street. I can't think of the name of the street, but yeah, he got me over there. Yeah, he got me stripped in my underwear. So this is my first time running him. So I get out, make bond. They carrying on the case. The second time I had a knee replacement. I run into Overland. I had a knee replacement, and I'm taking all my paperwork from my doctors, for my job, to child support place.
Right.
Everything cool, this and that. So now it comes to find out that I need a knee replacement again. So the same paperwork, the same doctor stuff, and all this, I'm taking back to them. So now all of a sudden, it's a warrant for my arrest because,
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
It's a warrant for my arrest now. So, every day when the warrant come up for my arrest, Overlani knew that I hung at my mom's house on South Street. So, like the neighbors couldn't understand why he riding up and down the street, pulling up to cars that's at my mom's house and this and that. But all the time, he really looking for me. So when I get down there and this and that, me and him see each other. He stops in the middle of the street. He jump out and got his stun gun. What made me run from him, which I know I ain't did nothing, but everybody else took off and ran. I didn't run. So what made me run from him, he got his stun gun in his hand. He talking about I'm under arrest. I'm like, I'm under arrest for what? Because the first time I ever ran into him, he stripped me down and made me pull down my pants and stuff and my shoes and my socks on a traffic stop.
Right.
So now I got an attitude with him from all this. So now I take off and I run from him. So I flip myself over the fence and this and that. So he catch me and this and that, and he tried to put my face. It like he arrested me, but he wanted to put my face in some dog dookie that's in the backyard. So I'm not having that. So we tussle and this and that. So the lady comes, Leanne Bailey comes up to him. We in the backyard tussling, me and him. She asked him, why is you bothering him? He was like, oh, he has a warrant for his arrest. Okay, he takes me to jail. The other police officer comes, he takes me to jail. I get booked in Sandusky County Jail.
Right.
On a failure to appear for child support.
Okay.
I've been sitting in Sandusky County Jail for an hour, maybe 2 hours now. They come in and say they charge me with possession of crack and possession of trafficking, which ain't nobody took no drugs off of me. Ain't nobody getting no drugs from me, this and that. They say they found some drugs on the top of the house and I threw it there. There's 4 other guys that's no ran besides me. And y'all, right. and the next door neighbor said, y'all all down in the neighborhood going through people's backyards.
Right.
Besides, I know ran that y'all in other people's backyards. And y'all say y'all found some drugs and I'm the one who threw it there. But they never told the arresting officer that took me to the county jail. You told the arresting officer that you shot me with a stun gun. The arresting officer is trying to take me to the hospital. And I'm telling him, you ain't shoot me with a stun gun.
Right.
So now I got these charges to fight. And I'm like, how am I going to fight some charges with some drugs? How am I going to get charged with some possession or some trafficking charges? You ain't take no drugs from me. But all the time, they got this case for me. So they doing anything to try to give me a drug case so they can have this case to stick to see like, oh, yeah, he a drug dealer and this and that going on.
Right.
And them the only runners I had. Other than that, I don't have problems with nobody. Like I should say, I be by myself. I knew, like, the charges that they had, they was lying. And I knew they was lying about me hanging out with people doing this and that. Because people would tell you, I don't hang out like that. Yeah, I don't move around like that. So we knew it. It's like everybody knew it was a lie. And if they give you or anybody a chance to pull up the truth, you'll see it's a lie. If you was to see the pictures right now that they pull up in court, you know it was a lie because that's not even me in the pictures. But just the corrupt stuff that goes on, and they try to sweep it all up on the rug in Fremont, Ohio, Sandusky County. And they run a justice system like a mob. That's what it really is. Because, you gonna cover up his wrongdoing. He gonna cover up your wrongdoing. He gonna cover up your wrongdoing. And he gonna cover up your wrongdoing. And they all like in different branches of the justice system. So this might be the chief of police. This might be a police officer.
Right.
This might be the judge. This might be the prosecutor. This might be the secretary. See, it's all like a tight-knitted thing. And they do it. I mean, they don't try to hide it. So, I mean, because there's paperwork that you can find and send see. It's just people don't do it, but they ain't like they trying to hide it or nothing. How could some people get up there and testify against me instead of saying that we running drugs when they don't call drug charges while they out on bond and they don't sweep it all up under the rug? And only how you knew that was because they was fighting cases with the women for the sexual harassment charges. And then all the truth started coming out. And thank God for the sheriff. the sheriff, not the, the sheriff that came from Sandusky County that took Carl Overmire's place, because you wouldn't have never knew none of this stuff. It was all like a secret.
Right.
And he felt like Tim Brown shouldn't be in the position that Tim Brown was in as being the head prosecutor.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Judge Dewey was helped covering that up too. So ain't nobody was doing nothing about it. Mike DeWine made Tim Brown step down, but they never did nothing about Judge Dewey. Judge Dewey was helping them commit crimes and doing all type of dirty stuff as well, but nobody did nothing about it.
Yeah. I got my own opinion about the governor, though.
Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? They'll go around and act like that these crimes was real committed. And if people was to really look into these crimes, Republican or Democrat, whoever has power, was really looking into these crimes, it wouldn't be an overpopulation of these prisons right now. I'm not the only one that's been affected. That's what he say, she say. I ain't the only one that's been affected by no evidence in his case. I ain't the only one that's been affected that dirty police officers, dirty judges. It's probably thousands of people just like me that's locked up in prison as well that don't have nobody to tell their story to, and don't have the resources or the money to fight their case.
Right.
So you just sit there, and it's a shame.
Right.
I just wanted Sandusky County to know, as well as the whole world, as my name is Keith Nettles. I'm a man, and these people don't have nothing to do with my case, and they put them on my case to make it seem like it's a big drug case, and it's really not. It's just a bunch of lies. Yeah.
Well,
and I like to. Okay.
It's so easy to get locked up through lies. All they need to do is hearsay. Say, I saw that person do it. That's how Ohio's convicting people these days. It's not by facts. And it's sad. And stuff like that needs to really stop.
You would think that somebody would clean it. You would think the Supreme Court, you would think that the highest courts would clean up this mess up. But they don't.
No, they don't.
Yeah, I feel like it's, to me, my opinion, I feel like it's all about money. They really don't care this and that. People spend 20 and 30 years of their life in prison for something they don't even do, and then wrong conviction, and then they just sit and act like, oh, well,
right.
This man just don't spend 10 to 20 years of his life. People don't pass away in his life. He don't miss out on his kids' life, or whoever life that he was in. He don't miss out on his relationships still ain't the same after 10 or 20 years. Ain't nothing still the same. And y'all just act like y'all give somebody some money. And
this call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
No, I feel like everybody should be held accountable for what they do. As a man, I'm telling you about my case, and I'm telling you myself that these people don't have nothing to do with me, and I don't have nothing to do with them. And that was all a lie.
Right.
They put these people on this case to make it seem like it was more than it really was. And anything that they said and say, even if they was to try to say, oh, this didn't happen, I can prove that they lied.
Right.
I have the dates, the times. I have, when they say I was at this place, when they say this happened, this and that, I have all that. Even they witnesses that they did have said half of that stuff didn't happen.
Right.
But I still got convicted for it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so,
it's sad, though, you know?
Yeah. That's why these prisons is overpopulated.
Right.
And until they until somebody stop this stuff or have people to investigate this stuff, it's going to continue to go on.
Right.
And that's the sad part about it.
Right.
And now I'm just trying to figure out, like, who really cares? They say this is United States, this is America, but who really cares?
Right.
Yeah, what is y'all doing about this stuff? If y'all use the federal government to investigate stuff that goes on in other countries, why don't y'all get the federal government to investigate some of the cases that goes on in Ohio?
Right.
How can government officials keep their jobs when they get in trouble for child pornography, sexual harassment, and they still working at their jobs? Like everything was okay. Like it ain't a problem. Like we just gonna switch this up on the rug. Even when the lady still say she never said that because she knew it wasn't gonna go nowhere. She knows they weren't gonna get a fair trial. This is a lady that works at the courthouse. She even complained about. So how do you think I'm gonna get a fair trial if she worked there every day around these people and she said she can't get a fair trial? So I'm gonna get a fair trial, or anybody else in Sandusky County, Fremont, Ohio, get a fair trial.
Right, that's true there.
But if it was their kids being sexual harassment by me, do you think I'm gonna get a smack on the wrist? If I was making these women watch child pornography, you think I'm gonna get a smack on the wrist? And then they have a judge come from Cleveland and get Tim Brown. I can't think of her name. Get Tim Brown a little smack on the wrist or whatever you want to call it. Come to find out, my lawyers that I hired, Milliken and James Kroger and Patrick Miller, they friends of the judge. So
right.
no wonder when I'm asking them to file different motions or put this in my direct appeal, no wonder they didn't do it because everybody are friends. And they from Cuyahoga County. And I'm like, well, how do she know him? She was friends with John Dewey and Tim Brown. So
right.
My lawyers, the stuff that I paid my lawyers to do, and the stuff I asked them to put in my direct brief, they didn't do it.
Okay, you have just a few minutes left, so let's do our closing on this video. The next time we'll do a Facebook Live.
Oh,
okay. How can people reach you? Your ID number, they can download JPay, put in State of Ohio, and then what's your ID number?
703-338.
Okay.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Okay, and you're in Marion Correctional, right?
Yeah, MCI.
Yeah, it used to be fairly decent there when they had Christine Money, Warden Beetle, and Jason Bunning, but the warden they have now there is a trip.
Yeah.
So, but well, our job is to give you guys a platform, to share what is going on, why you're innocent, so we could get other people involved.
Oh yeah, thank God that we got somebody that we can call and tell our story to.
Right, and you never know. Yeah, you never know who will listen to it, who may come, and say, "Let me help." You just never know.
Right.
And our goal is that someone will.
Right.
So we're gonna close this video, but we will do a Facebook Live with you sometime next week. Text me on a day that you would like to do it, and we'll do it that day. Okay, brother?
Yeah, I was wondering, I'll give your number to other inmates.
That's fine. Try to be careful. Yeah, try to be careful. Make sure that people that you believe somewhat that they are telling the truth.
Well, I'm gonna give other people your number that's been wrong convicted.
Okay.
County.
Right, and it could be really any place, and they also could be people that got screwed over by the parole board.
Oh well, there's a lot of them, dude.
Yeah, I was one of them. I did 25 years because of the parole board.
Yeah. It's a lot of. That's why they say this America, you get a second chance. Know what you did in your past. Oh, we're gonna give you 5 more years because that's what you did. Yeah. How about now?
Right.
Yeah. What is I'm doing now? But y'all let people out that stays in trouble in prison that take medicine.
Right.
That is like saying you got to go and get your medicine 3 times a day. If you don't get your medicine 3 times a day, you're going to the hole. So how you?
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
How you gonna let him out with supervision? If he had to have supervision in prison, and he ain't got no supervision when he on the streets. So we know that he's walking the time bomb, and anytime he's coming back in here, because he ain't taking his medicine, he drinking, he doing whatever he wanted to do, and y'all know that as well. So y'all will let people out that's a walking time bomb, but a person that's did 20 and 30 years, got diplomas in this, got diplomas in that, and ain't got a ticket in 5 or 6 years. Y'all let them come to the parole board and get them 5 more years.
Right.
That's all.
Right.
That's stuff I don't understand.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a system that is broken and a system that needs to be fixed.
Well, we know Ohio still got slave laws because any time when you can't accuse or somebody says you did something and you can't fight them, well, what is that? We got secret grand juries. Secret grand juries, that's a slave law.
Right.
That's a law that Ohio had, and before I was even thought of, before my mom was even thought of, before
Right.
my grandma was even thought of, the slave laws, and they still got them intact, and they still are used. That's just like they took me to court on good faith. How can you have a telecommunication wiretap, a Title III, and take somebody to court on good faith? You ain't got no drugs, no money, no nothing, and you take me to court and say I did something on good faith. What does
Right.
good faith got something to do with a Title III a wiretap?
Right. I know what you're saying. Yeah. But we're going to close this up now. But we'll have you on the beginning of next week. It would be around. It would be in the evening time for Facebook Live, probably around 6 o'clock if you're able, or shortly after that. Because I'm not. I know it counts 4 o'clock, correct?
Right.
So 6 o'clock or so would be fine. But I'll call me this weekend. We'll figure it out. Okay.
Okay then.
Okay, brother. Thank you for joining us today.
You, brother. God bless you.
Same to you. Okay. See, folks, these are people that want to share the platform that doesn't really have anybody to share it. And we know how much attorneys cost, and it's hard to find somebody that's halfway decent. The only one I really know that is good is Joel Spitzer. He's honest and he's reliable and he's dedicated to fight for his clients. So I'm excited, folks, with a lot of the people that have been talking with us. I do believe some things are going to change, but I also believe it's going to take all of us working together. Folks, have yourself a great day and God bless.